Hello everyone, I'm Father of Time, and this is a quick update on the Dystopia mod. I've been working a bit on the helicopters, and I wanted to go over some of the changes I've added, but also I wanted to ask some help of the community for some odd behavior if anyone spots a fix for some of the things that they're doing. But I'll get right to it. So I'll go ahead and spawn one in, and there you see is our still unskinned helicopter. I haven't worked on the bounding boxes or anything yet. Specifically, I've been working on the flying aspects of them. So if I now, one of the things actually I want to do before I get into it, though, is I decided I wanted to put in um, like a debug screen because I was tired of using the console to look at all these values because I couldn't figure out why they weren't flying properly, which by the way did end up helping a lot. But so I put in a game overlay and then it dawned on me like, hey, wait a minute, what do most helicopters have? Heads-up displays, HUDs. So I was like, I bet I can incorporate into that. So if you get into these things now, now keep in mind it's just string output for me for debugging sakes for now, but eventually I can actually turn it into like a graphic heads-up display with text outputs and stuff and make it useful. But if I go into first-person mode, you'll see that there is only when I get into these things um, heads-up display. So it'll tell me my yaw and pitch and all that. But eventually what I was thinking of doing is making it like speed, altitude, et cetera, et cetera. So this has been very helpful in that sense, and it does actually work. You'll notice if I turn it, you can see the values changing and stuff like that. So that or I've already gone over two of the things. Yeah, I just brushed past them. But number one is you can see I can get into them now, and regardless of where I'm sitting, I will always be centered in the cockpit, regardless of the fact that the center mast there that you can see behind me is actually the center of mass on this thing. But just like boats, it'll offset me so as it turns, no matter what, I'll always be sitting properly in the seat. The other thing you'll notice is I've actually got the turning working properly. I haven't put the friction of ground in yet because I just got this mechanic working, but if I get it to go, it'll slowly lose its momentum on its own and then do the same for the other way, and I can stop it and slow it and make it go the other way. It's obviously kind of floaty because it is a gyroscope or autogyro, there we go. So they need to, have some kind of like that lift woofing effect, and that's what these are all abstract, arguments so that as I make different, or extend this class, I can set different speeds. So some will be able to turn faster, some will have higher speeds, etc. So that works. Now, here's where some of the odd behavior comes in. Unfortunately, flight's still not working very well. And if I try to take off, you'll see what I mean. They vibrate, and this was much more noticeable, more noticeable before. I just have the stutters today, don't I? But before I got the correct speeds going, but basically, for whatever reason, even though rotation doesn't do it, um, it, and it used to whenever I had it just setting this on the server side, it would jump like that. Um, I think what it is I've noticed in the boat classes that it does set position on server side, but then move entity on the other. And I'm wondering if you have to like call the move entity on the client side to actually like get it to move fluidly animation wise in the client, but then do set position because the server doesn't care about animations or anything. It just you set where it will end up in the result of that movement. I don't know if that notion of mine is true or not. I'd love for someone with more expertise on vehicles in Minecraft to help me out. But as you can see, as I start to gain altitude, it just, and that's my thrust right there is I'm only moving, my thrust is my Y momentum basically. So I'm only moving up, 2/3 of a block. And actually, if you look at it, you can see it jumping back and forth between 0 and 1. It's almost like there's oh crap, I jumped out of it on accident. No, it's gonna fall to the earth. Get it, go, shoot. All right, come on, catch, there we go. I don't have any of the explosions or anything set up yet. Um, but it's like there's a desync between server and client. It's not really there. Can't tell if that's jumping around from 0 to 3 or if that's just, yeah, it is. See, look at that. So something's, and you know what? I have to look at my own code because that kind of just gave me an idea. I noticed that was the first time I've noticed this odd behavior. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, although they're a work in progress, some of the other things that we need to set up is getting that bug fixed. We're dropping the poly count drastically, because there just doesn't need to be this kind of finite detail. We're going to then we need to make the tail and the cones parts that like start texturing those, so it's not this green mess. And then obviously one of the other things is the bounding box because I don't need to get it completely off screen, and actually that was a poor direction to show that, but like if I look up a little, it's gone. So I need to get its bounding boxes set up properly. I haven't even started on those yet, but it's coming along well. I mean, just the fact that it's actually starting to make movements towards the flying, and I think it'll be really neat when we do that nice added addition of having a heads-up display to where there'll be like, one of those bars that shows the horizon as you like, tilt, because these are going to have strafing left and right. So as you do that, you're going to tilt the helicopter left and right. It's the roll of it. So like that bar will show you like how much you're tilted by. And then we'll have like an altimeter that just is a measurement from where you're sitting down to the highest block below you, so that way you can help use that to land. Because actually, surprisingly enough, once you get these things off the ground, like even though it's vibrating right now, and this is I'm sure obnoxious to watch, as you're going down, it's kind of hard to tell how far you are from the ground, and so a nice altimeter message would be helpful so you don't slam this thing down, because I do plan on making these things take damage if they hit the ground too hard. So you know, and as you can see, the inputs are working. Like I'm doing negative thrust right now, so I'm just thrusting myself into the ground. And if I do positive thrust, that's what actually takes me off of the ground. There's different variables. One is my actual movement speed, and the other one is just how much I'm, adding to it with my thrust and stuff. Ooh, God, I always keep trying to use shift as my deceleration. But anyways, I'll go ahead and cut it here. This is, yeah, again, one expansion. Some of the other things that we need to do that some of my coworkers have said they might work on is the creating of changing sugarcane into ethanol, which is going to be the fuel source for these things. But I've actually made some progress porting over some other parts too. Just not going to go over in any of this stuff, but I pulled over the germinators from the old server and stuff. Need to fix that still, but it's making progress. So, yeah. I'll go ahead and leave it here. I hope you've enjoyed. And again, I am Father Time, and this is the development of the Dystopia mod. Have a great day.